Yo, what's going on? Let me know when we are live. If we are live, can everybody hear me? Cool. Do me a favor. If you can hear me, give me a 5x5 in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 5x5 in the chat if you guys can hear me real quick. Can you hear me? I do believe we are live. Can give me a 5x5 in the chat? Okay, cool. Cool. I have a little bit of a delay, I suppose. So listen, my name is ChilleDeCastro. The name of my channel is Delete Laws, as you can see. But this video is going to be a little bit different. And I'm going to do this video just as though I'm teaching you, and it's not really interactive. I'm just going to look at you, and I'm going to teach you guys literally what intermittent fasting is, why you should do it, what the health benefits of it are, and I'm going to show you guys every single thing that you should eat, when you should eat it, and I'm going to explain to you why you should eat those foods if you really want to be healthy. Now, just about 5 days ago, I think this is the 5th day of my fasting. Today is the 5th day of my fasting. And so in the last 5 days, I'm going to pull up right now. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys a video that of the first day when I was fasting, so that you guys can see the difference of what exactly the immense changes that happened inside of my body from intermittent fasting. Because when you intermittent fast, and I've intermittent fasted only for 5 days, and each one of those days I fasted for 22 to 26 hours. And I'm going to explain to you specifically why I did that. So let me go here to application page right here, share. Okay, so this was my face 5 days ago. And unfortunately, ironically, when I made this video, my microphone wasn't working. So I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to talk you guys through exactly what I'm saying here, because it's super important. So my face right there compared to what my face looks like now, and this is only in 5 days of fasting. Look at the immense changes that physically happen in the face from just 5 days of fasting. You see those bags under my eyes? You can see what I look like. In comparison with what I look like in just 5 days later, you can see the shape of my face has even changed a little bit. And all I've done is fasted for 22 to 26 hours per day. So the changes happen first in your face, because when your body goes into autophagy, which I'm going to explain as we go down the line, the first thing that it does is protect the brain and take away all of the dead cells that it can kill and turn around and eat for protein and energy to survive that 18th, 19th, 20th, 23rd, 24th hour before you eat again. So you can visually see the differences. I can visually see the differences in my entire, like, just so you guys know, it's 8:30 p.m. right now. I have not eaten since 12:30 last night. So do the math there. I'm at 20 hours. I'm sharp as a tack. So, because what happens when you fast is your body goes into fight, flight, or freeze. Now, let me share a different application with you guys on this. Let me stop sharing this, and let me share with you guys now the slides. And I'm going to show you that was the beginning of a video where I show you each and every part of food that I eat. I show you guys how I prepare it. Like, this is going to be a great presentation. Even if you don't know me, and even if you don't like me, even if you love me, if you really want to learn how to intermittent fast, I'm going to teach you, and then I'm going to show you the foods. Like, the video I have here is all foods. But let me share with you the reason why you want to intermittent fast first. Let me see. There it is. Okay. So the whole program is called Don't Press the Button. And the reason why it's called Don't Press the Button is because your belly button, when you consider this, your belly button is the button. Okay. And when you push your belly button, what happens is in normal people is your body will release insulin. That's a fact. If your body doesn't release insulin, then you're a diabetic and you will go to the doctor and they'll give you insulin to inject in your body because your blood cannot have sugar just floating around. It doesn't work. So your body has to release insulin to counteract the sugar. So that's the first part you have to understand. Let me go back to the, and when you push the button, your body releases insulin. So what exactly does that mean? That means that you're going to kick on your sucrose system. Your body only has two energy systems. I'm going to go into that in a second, but how do you push the button? What specifically do you do that pushes the button? It's when you take in any calories. When you put a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee, and I'm going to show you guys how to do your coffee step by step on video, but when you put that teaspoon of sugar in your coffee, you push the button. Now, let's go into more detail. You have, let me see what this looks like. You have two energy systems. And the two energy systems that you have, let me see if I can change the perspective here. Sorry about that. The ketone system and the sucrose system. Now, this is an essential thing you have to understand because when you push the button, then your sucrose system is going to come on. Everybody's does. And when you put that insulin, when you put that sugar in your blood, your body absolutely must release insulin. So what do you want to happen to your body? You want your body to go into burning ketones or burning fat. That's what you want. You cannot burn fat when you have insulin in your blood, and you know that. So now this chart here is going to represent approximately how many hours until the sucrose system stops engaging and the ketone system must engage because there's no more sugar in your blood. Now, what do we teach? What do we teach? They teach you to eat on a food pyramid where you eat every 2 or 3 hours. Now, that system, what that does, will continually pump insulin into your blood. And for every second that you have insulin in your blood, you are 1 second away from being in a ketone system. When you wake up in the morning, what do? You have breakfast. Or people will say, oh, I just have an apple and a pear. You immediately pump your body full of insulin. And when you pump your body full of insulin, you cannot burn fat. Your body will not utilize a ketone system to burn fat. So when you break your fast, some people will say things to me like, I hardly eat anything and I'm this much overweight. And I say, right, I understand that. And they go, how do you understand that? And I say, well, you're pumping your body full of, you're turning on your sucrose system consistently throughout the day, over and over and over. So now let me keep going on this graphic so that we can get into, so pretty simple. The longer amount, the more minutes, or the faster you burn the sugar out of your blood, the faster the insulin is out of your blood, the faster you will get into a ketone system. And that's going to happen around the 16th hour for most people. And 12 hour, 10 hour, depends on how much sugar you put in your system. And I'm going to go into detail more on that in a minute. So when you don't eat for 16 hours, then your system has to engage ketone, which means it has to burn fat for fuel. And if you don't have anything else in your system but your body will burn the fat first, which is great. So when you get 16, 18, 20 hours, you are burning fat off your body for sure. You feel it. You feel hunger because of the ghrelin molecule from you eating the stuff you ate previously. You feel hungry. I don't feel hunger at all right now, by the way. After 20 hours, 22 hours, 24 hours, you put your body into an autophagic state, which I have done now. Today's the 5th. I cheated on the 1st. I didn't get into gear on the 1st, but my last meal on the 1st, I had So how many days is that I'm now in that I've now been? But I always get that. And let me go back to how I got there, just so you know, so that you can get. Now, let me explain what autophagy is, and let me share my screen with people who I watch on video where I learn this stuff. Because as you guys know, you only know what you know, and everything else you're a great big dunce cap in. And so you have to learn from other people. So I'm going to share with you guys some people who I've learned from. And right here, nope. Oh, I'm so sorry. There you go. I'm sorry, I can't see without my glasses on, but I know that on StreamYard with the lights, my glasses really, really mess it up. So if I mess it up for 1 second, forgive me real quick. I think this is the one I wanted to share. Yes, this is what I wanted to share. So when you are intermittent fasting, you certainly are going to feel and be hungry. That's 100%. That is completely undoubtable. But I want you to remember that you should not break your fast just because you're hungry. You absolutely should not break your fast because I'm sorry, I have so many YouTube tabs open because there's so many different people I want to show you guys that I listen to, so that every single thing that I say,
like, I feel like my rhythm kind of changes a little bit sometimes.
Can
like
be backed
sometimes
up.
I'm super hungry in the morning. Like if I train hard, other times it's like I can wait till 2 and like be totally fine. Like I've been traveling the last few days, so didn't have breakfast, didn't really feel the need. So that intuitive eating approach, I can't remember if you've had some posts on that. I know that's kind of getting like Lane Norton and a few other people are saying it's a bunch of BS.
I'm not into intuitive eating. Okay. I think that our sleep, our hunger cues, there's a differentiation between hunger and appetite. I think that we feed for a lot of other reasons other than being hungry. Yeah. And I think that intuitive eating is a mistake.
Okay, so, you know, she teaches and coaches. Dr. Gabrielle is brilliant. She teaches and coaches lots of people how to go through intermittent fasting. And she's just one of the different people that I listen to. And so when I say the terms intermittent fasting, I really want you guys to understand what that means. People don't really explain it properly all the time, and it drives me crazy. So that's why this presentation took so long to put together. Remember, I've wanted to teach this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and instead of being able to teach it, I was unable to do it because I had to really get into it. I had to get into what I was doing. And then now that I've been into it for 5 days now I'm doing it every single day. And so here's what I do every single day. I'm only going to have 3 substances, and my window I choose is the evening between like 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. That's when I eat. Last night I ate all the way up till 12:30 because I'll talk about that later. But this isn't what intermittent fasting is. When you only eat in a specific window right there. Now, I choose to eat in a 1-hour window, and that 1-hour window will fluctuate a little bit because I want to get into an autophagic state. I want to reverse the aging. Autophagy was just discovered in 2016 or 2018, just discovered. And the Japanese scientist who discovered it won the Nobel Peace Prize for it. And so ever since I've learned about it, I've always been fascinated with being able to be the best physical self that I could be for the rest of my life. And so when I learned that when you go into an autophagic state, one cell will look at the other cell and say, well, he's all out of calories. And I went to the brown fat, but you know, I really need energy. And so the other cell will say, okay, let me break down for you. And what cell is that breaking down? That cell is breaking down the cancer cells, the gout cells, the high blood pressure cells, the diabetic cells, the insulin resistant cells. You've heard that there's cancer cells in your body that exist. It is true. And so when you put yourself into that autophagic state, But after it eats the dead wrinkles off your face and gets the bags out from underneath of your eyes, and it does these aesthetic things that are really, really for you as a person when you're 50, 60, 70, 40s, when you're in these ages and you can literally see differences in your physical appearance from simply not eating for 22 to 26 hours. I choose to do that. That's why my eating window will fluctuate between 6, 7 p.m. and all the way up till midnight. Because if I haven't got my solid brisk walk in for the day, then, because here's the thing, when you hit your autophagic state and your cells go into a state of apoptosis means cellular death. The cell is going to die. There's no more energy for it, no more calories. So when that cell goes into apoptosis, one cell eats the other cell. When you get to that 18, 19, 20, 22, 24 hour mark. Now, of course, you can speed that up and slow that down. And there's going to be scientists who say you're always going through different phases. You're always using a ketone system and a sucrose system. But I have mastered this since 2018. I am an absolute pro at this. So now there's my eating window. Now let me teach you exactly what to eat, food by food. And if you guys want, I'll share. Let me say, I'll share sharing the videos of the professionals who I learned from as soon as I teach you guys all the food. So in case you don't want to watch the rest of it, but I'm gonna now let me pull up the food video. So I want everybody to understand though, you choose your eating window. You can choose to eat in an 8-hour window every day, a 6-hour window every day. I choose to hit that 24-hour mark every day. That's what I choose to do. Now, I didn't get that yesterday because remember when I started the intro, I said I had a 22-hour day. That was yesterday when I broke because I was like, I really want to finish those chicken pieces that I have that will expire by tomorrow if I don't eat them tonight. And I justified the reason why I could eat within a 3-hour window instead of a 24, 25 hour, instead of a 1-hour window, because that's also a big thing. You have to set your window or you'll continue to eat. You set your window and you're like, that's it. Like you heard Dr. Gabrielle say, your body will always tell you, oh, I feel like I need an apple. I feel like I need a banana. No. So and now when you go on that fast, you can have 3 substances. You can have black coffee, you can have green tea, and pink Himalayan salt. And I recommend, and you should do a couple cranks of, I'll show you in the video, a couple cranks of pink Himalayan salt in a cup of water every couple hours. Keep your sodium up. It'll have dramatic effects on you. The salt in the black coffee or black espresso, I put a couple shakes of salt. It kills the bitterness. And then in the green tea, honestly, I rarely ever do green tea, but people have told me they have when I did a 5-day fast, I did green tea, and the green tea saved my life on day 3. On day 3 of that 5-day fast, I was going to break, but that I had a half a pot of green tea. I probably spiked my adrenal gland, and then that probably brought me out of a state of ketosis, but I don't think so. Not at that level. Not when you're into your fast for 50 some odd hours. I can get more into extended fasting in another version, but for right now, let me pull it. So now there's that's what intermittent fasting is. There it is. You choose the window you eat every day and you set that. And listen, on some people on Sundays, they take the day off and they eat whatever they want. What I do is I go sometimes on Saturday when I stop eating, I don't eat again until Monday. I'll do a 36 or 42-hour fast. I'll have dinner on Friday night and then I won't eat until Sunday morning. I do that sometimes just to go through all day Saturday. But just choose your eating window, and that's what intermittent fasting is. You are not starving yourself. You are not killing yourself. You're not starving of food every day. That is not true. So now let me show you guys the food and show you specifically the foods to eat, because you have to be extraordinarily detailed if you're going to do this, or you'll get sick. So there's the difference of my face in 5 days. I feel like I look a little bit different. I feel like I'm starting to open up again, that the dead cells are on my face after fasting for 24 hours, roughly 24 hours each day. for 5 days, I feel like I look and I know I feel a lot better. I feel way better, way more energy. Remember, I've been up since this morning and it's almost 9 p.m. here. Okay, let me play this video and I'm going to explain this video as it goes, and I'm going to stop it a couple times because there's things that literally have to be explained. So I couldn't talk here, but what I'm talking about is how the first thing that happens is when you go into an autophagic state, it's going to attack the dead skin first because the brain needs to survive. The brain is not going to let itself die because you're starving. First thing it'll do is get rid of any injuries or dead skin on your face, around your body.
So I just woke up.
Okay, I told you my speaker thing wasn't working. So you can't wake up and have toasted graham coffee or vanilla nut. No. Every chemical you put in your body will affect your fast. It will mess up your fast. Do not mess up your body. Now, I'm from Colombia, so that's straight black Colombian gold right there, baby. But now I will make there's my salt right there, my pinch of salt to put in my coffee, because all black coffee, all black espresso to me is bitter as and as you guys know, I have a little bit of high blood pressure. So the only thing I take in the morning is my high blood pressure medication, nothing else with my black coffee. And then I put in my pinch of salt in there. All other vitamins and minerals and everything else you're going to take will be eaten during the beginning, at the end of your eating window. So at the end of your eating window is when you take in all your vitamins and minerals and pills and all the things, unless you have to take medically prescribed things. And always talk to your doctor before you follow any fast or anything that anybody else does. But this is going to be my way of life. And pink Himalayan salt is what gets me through every single day.
Breaking your fast properly matters. I didn't just fast for 24 hours so that I wouldn't do it right. By eating this chicken first, lean white tissue, lean white meat, little as fat as possible, little as seasoning as possible. By eating this first, this chunk of meat, this will fill my body with enzymes instead of insulin. My body hasn't had anything in it in 24 hours besides coffee, water, and salt. I didn't even have any tea. So when I put this into my system, my body will fill with the enzyme to digest this. This is an amino acid chain of protein. You've heard that before. What breaks down this amino acid chain in my body is called a substrate. A substrate is an enzyme. So if this protein is a lock, then the substrate or the enzyme would be the key to unlock it for my body to use it. My body has to create the substrate, the enzyme, to break down this amino acid chain properly. So that means because I don't have anything in my body, I'm bone dry right now. I'm 24 and a half hours in. This chunk of meat will force my body to create a substrate to work harder. And then my body will populate with this enzyme more than any other chemical, because the first chemical reaction is going to be the biggest. The biggest neural pathways for your protein, you want that to be your biggest meal of protein. You want to drive that forward. I'm going to eat this entire thing and then I'm going to wait 10 minutes. When you haven't eaten in 24 hours, and I'm corking this chicken breast down here, sometimes I use a little Perrier water to get it down. It's pure soda water, but soda water can turn your body acidic. So I use this very sparingly. But after more than 24 hours of not eating, sometimes the chicken can be really dry. So if you have to do a swig or two, but try to get it down. Try. Okay, so I wolfed this entire chicken breast down. It was delicious, incredible. I ate it cold. I was so hungry because I was coming up on 25 hours, so I was dying. And now here I've got my salad. I got a little chunk of meatloaf, and I got these little chicken bites. That I got all this stuff at the grocery store because, long story, but anyway, I'm going to stick on my fast. I'm going to get everything I need. But in my salad here, I'm going to add in probiotics and prebiotics, which are onions and mushroom and garlic. I'm going to add here. So
See, the reason I'm adding the mushrooms and the garlic and the onions is because they're prebiotics, and you have to balance your prebiotics and probiotics in your stomach if you're going to intermittent fast or do ketosis. It's so essential that you get your, sometimes I don't do greens at all whatsoever. And I do probiotics and prebiotics still, which will be some slices of onion and some garlic, some root, ginger root, some fiber, some apple, slice of apple, very slice of super green banana.
So now with that prebiotic in there, I'm going to add in a little probiotic with a little bit of kombucha.
Always get your probiotics.
I'm going to eat all this, and I'm going to eat some more in a second. I'm going to show you what that is.
I do.
Now, I'm going to add in a couple slices of cheese. I just break it. So you want to get your prebiotics and mix your probiotics. You guys already saw, I already had the onion and the garlic earlier. So now I have to make sure that I get, and when I'm talking about, I'll do a teaspoon of this in water. I'll do an ounce or two of this. I'll do an ounce or two of this. And then I just do like, I can have this banana over 3, just like that much. That's all you need.
That you don't need a whole apple. See, what you're doing is you're switching your system over to using fat for fuel instead of using simple carbohydrates. You notice there's no simple carbohydrates in the diet. That's how much of the apple that I take in at one time in total. And then that's how much of the banana. I don't want simple sugars or simple carbohydrates or carbohydrates really to be my energy source at all. I'm going to balance out my proteins and my fats with the proper vitamins and minerals I need, with my probiotics and my prebiotics. I'm going to do it right because your system has to be balanced. This is a first world activity because we have all the ingredients right here. And the amount of money I spent on this stuff, I eat the same thing. I have a tiny bit every day. And I'm just literally showing you guys how much you have to take in of probiotics and prebiotics. I want you guys to understand how much you don't have to take in a lot. What these do is they combine together the prebiotic with the probiotic, and they form all kinds of bacteria in your gut. And in your gut biome, what happens is that is your mood. The next day, how you feel, the attitude and mood you have is going to be 100% based on how many probiotics and prebiotics you mixed into your system. Seaweed, I don't love seaweed, but I know that what it's going to do for my personal health is so good for me. It's going to help my gut, because your body, just so you know, the first week you're on an intermittent fasting program where you're fasting at least 18, 24 hours a day, your body, all the cells that you use to digest food daily, they just go away. They go out through waste. Okay. So if you don't balance your probiotic and prebiotic, they go out through waste, and it's a miserable experience.
A teaspoon of this last, but the seaweed, man, the seaweed really helps in digestion. You only need a little bit too. You saw that. So those are all my probiotics and prebiotics now out of the way. So oil, I can do that. So I already put, this is already on this right here. So I already put this on that right there. So this can come out. And then MCT oil you want to take every single day. You want to take MCT oil every day.
So, and
So just so you guys can see.
You don't need a lot.
There you go.
But that's, 5-10 grams, of fat. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay. So you guys are going to see me here eat some fat, and what you're seeing is I put the protein in my body first, because the protein pathway being created first with the enzymes that your body's going to replicate over and over and over, because you don't have anything in your system, is amazing. It's amazing what it does for you, especially when you break your fast properly. And I'm going to show you the gurus who I learned from, and you guys can go check their videos to back up anything that I'm saying. I learned these things from someone else. But the benefits of what you get from replacing carbohydrates, potatoes and rice and flour and bread. You know, there's no bread on this nutritional system. I'm not sure if you've seen so far. You know, you're going to get rid of all of those things, and your body is going to thank you by how you're going to feel. The first few days of fasting, you're going to be, you don't even really feel hunger except for that last 3 or 4 hours. I don't feel hungry at all right now, and I'm coming up on 21, 22 hours. And let me get back to the video because there's a lot of information here. I wouldn't recommend the Great Value Ghee again, but I needed something to show you guys on camera. Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love that great. Oh, let me just show you how much I take though. Got to get a teaspoon. There it is. Take it. Okay, now here's something super, super important. When you're taking in fat, you put the fat in your mouth, and the first stage of digestion is the bile in your mouth. And you make sure that you let the fat digest in your mouth. So if this is my teaspoon of MCT oil, you know, I'm going to really let the bile in my mouth attack it and make sure that it gets where, you know, the first stage of digestion is bile. You don't want to just swallow fats without allowing that first stage of, you know, I'm on camera right now, so I'm not actually even showing how I would actually do it. You know, I actually swish it in my mouth. So I want the bile to engage with the fat in my mouth, because I don't want to swallow just a lump of fat and not have the first stage of digestion happen. Just simple facts. So here, this flaxseed meal, it's, you know, it's, you just want to do, it's good for your stomach. It's a good prebiotic. I don't love it. I put a little more for digestion. So this is going to be the next day right here. Day 3 of the fast, I'm going to break my fast again with this chicken. I'm going to eat lean white meat tissue of chicken. I'm going to eat both of these pieces of pure white meat, the leanest white meat I can find. That's not white meat, by the way. I'm going to eat both of those. That wasn't white meat. I was just delusional and hungry. And then as soon as I'm done eating this, I'm going to eat that part of that T-bone steak right there. I eat the same thing every day. And then I'm going to have a burger after that. So I got 3 different sources of protein here. I've got the chicken, I've got the T-bone steak, and I've got this one here. I'm going to do all 3 different kinds, just like we're going to do all different kinds of fats. Okay, I finished the white meat and one little piece of dark meat, and I moved right into the T-bone before I got a chance to show you guys what I was doing. This is the most nutrient-dense product on earth besides beef liver. It's a T-bone steak. You actually want to eat the fat. You want to eat this right here. But I'm still doing protein right now, so I'm going to come back and eat this in a few minutes. I'm not going to eat this whole steak. Perfect medium rare. Oh, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a burger. I'm going to enjoy one of these.
And then we're going to get into the regular routine of the salad, probiotics, prebiotics. Okay, so I put my T-bone steak away for tomorrow. I'm going to eat the same thing every day. Remember that. And now I'm going to have my burger. But I can't have a bunch of ketchup and barbecue sauce and garbage on the burger. You notice the onions and the garlic that I sauteed when I began, because these are your probiotics and prebiotics. Garlic and onions. They're not probiotics, they're prebiotics. I'm saying when you're mixing your probiotics and your prebiotics. Now I've already added in my prebiotic, which is onion and garlic. And now I've had my chicken. I've had maybe a third or a quarter of that T-bone steak, and I'm going to have this great big burger to really drive home that protein pathway to start off my enzyme system in my stomach. The last thing you want to do is put sugar in your system after you fasted for 20, 24 hours. Pretty much any sauce that you put on stuff is sugar. So this is red taco sauce. You can't put ketchup or barbecue sauce. You got to get rid of the bread. And so this is some sauce that I'll just lightly dip my burger in for taste. But remember, it's sugar. You want to avoid sugar. Okay, I'm pretty full. I had the chicken, I had the T-bone steak, and then I had a full burger. Put the other burgers away for tomorrow. I put the T-bone steak away for tomorrow. So now I'm really full and I don't want to eat anymore, but I have to. You have to mix in your probiotic, your kombucha, and your kefir with your flaxseed, your green.
You can also get that through sauerkraut. Any fermented food is going to be your probiotic. Any cultured food, a yogurt is, but yogurt's super high in sugar, and I'm kicking the processed sugar for my autophagy to kick in at the best rate so I can get in a ketogenic state as fast as I possibly can.
And your garlic and your onions. The probiotics and prebiotics, and I'll do a teaspoon of this as well. But I'm not going to have a big salad today because I'm so full. And I'll definitely have a half a teaspoon of this. And then I'm going to pack my fats on top of it, which is going to be a quarter to half of this, a teaspoon or two of the almond butter, which is almonds, and then a teaspoon of this and a teaspoon of this.
And so, you say, how come you're taking in all that fat? Because the fat is going to sustain me. I mean, look, I could show you guys a video of just 2 weeks ago, the way aesthetically, the way my skin and face looks. You are going to look different when you get off those processed sugars and garbages that you're eating. And look, it is hard. There's still candy canes and M&Ms and sugar and all kinds of stuff around from New Year's. But what do I really want? What do I really want? I want number one, the health change. I want to be into an autophagic state. I want my cells to eat my cancerous cells. I don't want to die of cancer. I don't want you to die of cancer. Nobody wants to die of diabetes. Nobody wants to die of gout. Nobody wants to die of all the diseases that are eaten by autophagy. And so that's what I think about. And I also think about that I had a pretty good time eating. Oh, do you know how I got fat? I ate breakfast every day. And then every couple hours, I put some garbage and sugar in my body, some processed food. If you're trying to gain weight, then all you do is add carbohydrates with your fats and then add protein. And that's how you gain weight. It's simple formula how your body works. So let this video finish and then I'll show you guys my sources.
Then my meal's done for the day. I'm done eating for 24 hours. Because I didn't have a salad today though, I'm going to have a teaspoon of Metamucil, sugar-free Metamucil. And this will finish my feeding period. And then after this, I'll wait 30 minutes, take all my vitamins and minerals, and then I'm done feeding for 24 hours. That's it. And then I'm going to take in my fats. I'm going to do a teaspoon of this one. I'm going to do a teaspoon of this one. I'm going to do a teaspoon of this one. I may do 2 teaspoons of this with my apple because you want to add in apple and my chunk of banana.
So you want to get that seaweed in. You don't have to have a lot of it, but it comes in little snacks. There's my coconut or my coconut. Yeah, I think that's my coconut right there. You have to get your fat in. There's my chunk of almond butter. That's raw almond butter, so it comes out funny. But you have to get your.
So there's something I really forgot to stress on. This is seaweed. You buy it in packages like this, but this is a prebiotic. So when it mixes with the culture of a probiotic, like in kombucha, it creates its own bacteria. There's trillions of kinds of bacteria that are created from different combinations of probiotics and prebiotics. Asparagus is a good prebiotic, apples, bananas. So you want to mix your probiotics and prebiotics.
So, and by the way, the kombucha mixed with the seaweed, the kombucha makes it go down because I don't love the taste of seaweed.
This one in particular, seaweed. When you're first getting into 24-hour-a-day fast, where you're only eating one meal a day, or you're doing keto, you're going to have a hard time going to the bathroom, or it's going to go to the bathroom, and you'll figure that out. But the point is this seaweed is a game changer. I have 20 bags stacked in a box because when I go into keto in about 4 or 5 weeks, the weight will really come off, the fat will, but so will your bowels. You want to make sure you have this seaweed ready to go, and always mix it with a probiotic. I'm using kombucha now and kefir, but tomorrow I'll start using sauerkraut, and anything fermented is going to be a probiotic, a culture.
So yeah, cool. You know, it's when you mix the foods properly, it makes it so that your body works, and you can go 24 hours without eating without feeling like you're dying. Your goal is to not push the button, which is your belly button. And how do you push the button? By eating food, by putting calories in your body. You push the button. And, you know, I showed you Dr. Gabrielle Reese. Let me show you a couple of my other sources so you can really learn the way I learned. If you want to fact check anything that I've said, you know, I think the first thing we should go into is the, you know, what is autophagy, so you guys can kind of understand it.
Why would you care? There was recently a Nobel Prize in Medicine awarded for work on autophagy. And the reason is that this shows great promise in reversing things like cancer, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson, improving immune system, reversing degenerative disease, and it has also shown promise for anti-aging. So today we're going to talk about what autophagy is. We're going to explain some of the mechanisms and some of the principles that will help you understand why this can be.
So that's Dr. Sten Ekberg. He's got 2.37 million subscribers. Let me share another. So will you put that in the chat? Dr. Sten Ekberg. Sten, S-T-E-N, Dr. Sten Ekberg. E-K-B-E-R-G. So that's one of the folks that I watch. And then let me share another one that I watch all the time, because, you know, for me, it's about the science. If someone teaches me the science of how, you know, your body works in a better way, I'll do it. If you can prove it to me, Sten, it's S-T-E-N, Dr. Sten Ekberg. Now, let me share with you guys another one. And just so you guys know, the first time that I saw Thomas DeLauer, I judged him. And then after 5 minutes of listening to him talk, I was like,
worth 1,000 words. Then a checklist is worth 1,000,000 words. So I've given you a visual representation of a fast breaking checklist. You see, intermittent fasting is really easy, but when it comes down to breaking the fast, it can get a little bit complicated. And I've spent a lot of time doing in-depth videos that really, really get granular. And you can definitely check those out. I'll put them in the description. But I figured let's just do a simple video that gives you the basics of breaking a fast in terms of a checklist. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in.
So we're not going to dive right in because I'm just showing you who he is. His name's Thomas DeLauer, D-E-L-A-U-E-R. If he teaches I learned so much by watching him. What I'm doing is just putting what these guys taught me into a microcosm and telling you, if you push the button and you eat sugar or food, you break your fast. I mean, look, you know, it makes you look better. It makes your skin look better. It makes you look better. It just does. So, or why would I sit here and tell you guys about it? It's free. This is free. Let me show you guys another one. Let me show you guys another person who I love listening to. Oh, Dr. Gabrielle, you know, she says a few great things in this video. I think I have her in another video as well. But Dr. Gabrielle is so amazing. This woman has taught me so much. Dr. Gabrielle is incredible. Like what I learned from her and her philosophy of there's no such thing as intuitive eating. You don't just decide, oh, I think I need an apple because my body says so. You know, you either need water, salt, coffee, or tea, or you're not fasting. You're not. And you're not going to get an autophagy. You're not going to get the skin that's going to get eaten. There are people who've lost weight, 100 pounds, using autophagy, and they don't have any skin folds. That's how quick autophagy eats dead skin, scars, wrinkles. That's how fast it does it. You can lose the fat and your body will. So I got that one already. Okay. High intensity health. This guy is, just so you know, his show got kicked off of YouTube over the pandemic. He got kicked off of YouTube over the pandemic because he is a science-based teacher, high intensity health. I have learned so much by watching his podcasts, the guests that he has on, the interviews that he does, the in-depth analysis.
We have an exciting new study to talk about, and this is the longest duration intermittent fasting study published to date. This was a 12-month clinical study to look at the differences between a 16-hour daily fast versus a 12-hour daily fast. Now, you might be thinking, are those additional 4 hours of fasting, how could they really move the needle? How could they affect visceral adipose tissue? How could they affect cardiometabolic risk factors like
So what he's saying, listen, I want to repeat his words properly because he's so much smarter than I am.
Like, how could they affect visceral adipose tissue?
So visceral adipose tissue, that's your visceral, your stomach. Adipose tissue is the deep brown fat. And so visceral adipose tissue, and there's a study here. So, and this is, I haven't even seen this video yet. This is just one of his latest videos. And so visceral adipose tissue, just so the guys out there know, the men who watch my channel, the thing that, and just so you know, I'm taking a daily picture of my stomach. I do not look my best. I'll put it to you like that. I'm glad that autophagy first affects your face so that your face can look better, because I know compared to what I'll be in 4 weeks, just 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of fasting for 22 to 26 hours a day, visceral adipose tissue that Mike just said from High Intensity Health, that's the fat on your belly. Guys, if you're 40, 50, 60 years old and you look at your gut and you're like, I am so sick and tired of this gut. And by the way, this doesn't cost you anything. It's free. All you have to do is just not eat and eat in a time window. But if you're a dude and you're sick and tired of your gut, Mike, well, let's see what else Mike says. Just let's listen to a little bit more.
How could they affect cardiometabolic risk factors like insulin, like HDL, like triglycerides, or leptin and adiponectin, all things that this study looked at. In addition, they also looked at markers of chronic inflammation. Over the last 12 months, 24 months, we've talked a lot about baseline levels of chronic inflammation and how those baseline levels of chronic inflammation can predispose you to poor outcomes when it comes to getting infected with a virus. So this is a really...
This is why he got suspended from YouTube, but for talking about, I want to go back and listen to this one more time. You hear what he said here?
Important to all things that this study looked at. In addition, they also looked at markers of chronic inflammation.
Okay, so when he says, just so you know, so chronic inflammation is caused by your body, and you guys can listen to his video, by your body not having a proper balance of sucrose and ketone. Most people in America don't ever lose their sucrose system. They're always on it, and they wonder why they're sick. The mucus and fluffiness and that you feel is because you're putting sucrose system, you're clogging your system by never letting it go into a ketone system. That's what you're doing. And you wonder why you don't feel good. Your body's, some people wake up in the night and drink juice to kick on their sucrose system. It's incredible to me that the data is out there. And this guy's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. You can learn so much at High Intensity Health.
Over the last 12 months, 24 months, we've talked a lot about baseline levels of chronic inflammation and how
Baseline levels of chronic inflammation are 100% caused. Baseline levels of chronic inflammation. If you're chronically feeling this way, you're not eating. You're eating too much and you're eating bad stuff. That's making you sick. It's just that simple. I was never afraid during the pandemic. I wasn't afraid at all, because I know that when I don't eat for 22, 24 hours, that, oh, this chick,
we have to think about, as we get older, what do we want to be able to do? If you fall, you want to be able to get up in lower body strength. And of course, walking speed, grip strength, these are the things that, we test, that we know will be predictive as a biomarker or predictive marker for issues later on. Resistance exercise, contracting skeletal muscle against force, against other types of weight and full movements are critical. So is Pilates enough? No. Is
No,
Pilates
it's not.
beneficial?
So now what she's talking about is that you have to do resistance training where your body, your skeletal muscle, when I take two 25-pound dumbbells and I put them over my head, my arms, you guys can see, like, I'll show you guys in the pictures as soon as it's all done. My whole body's changing so fast. And whether I like it or not, the bathroom is a process. It sucks. And it's getting better though. Day 5, it's getting a lot better. But when you pick up two weights, whether it be 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and your skeleton has to contract because there's 50 pounds over my head, for me, or whatever your weight is, could be a 10 pound with 2 hands that you're holding, or you're curling or lifting, you're putting like this. When you lift it like this, your bones have to contract, which means your ligaments have to interact, which means you're going to have more mobility, more flexibility. You're going to be able to do more because you actually got the contraction of your ligaments and tendons to all interact as you get older. I've already seen that one. So she's brilliant. That's an interview with Dr. Gabrielle, and she's just so brilliant. She has so much to offer as far as teaching you what to do, when to do it, why you do it. It's a gift to learn from people who have dedicated their lives. Now, this gentleman here is named Dr. Jason Fung. He is probably, I learned the most from him. And he doesn't have really dry lectures, but he used to have a whole lecture series where he taught so much more, and they took him down. I don't know why they did, but they did take him down.
It does not work at all. And people will, counting calories simply does not work at all. And people will say, oh, but it does. Well, if you look at the scientific studies, it doesn't.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Healthy.
So, I think we can find better Fung videos for sure. But that interview with Tom has 2.2 million views. So that interview, when you put Jason Fung, will you guys put that in the chat, please, Dr. Jason Fung? He has, I'm like, you know what? Just so you guys know, when I made the let me show you guys another video, another person who I learn a lot from, so that you guys can follow what I say, because I'm going to take this off this channel and push this on Don't Press the Button. Don't Push the Button. There's a website called Don't Push the Button, so people can interact. They can join the website, and other people fasting can interact with one another. But I'm just having fun with this. But you got to have something that is fun. Yeah, this guy.
It's so profound to the health of the body. And we're going to explain some of the mechanisms and some of the principles that will help you understand why this can be so profound to the health of the body. And then, of course, we'll show you some ways that you can start applying this in your life. Coming right up.
This guy's absolutely
I'm Dr. Ekberg. I'm a holistic doctor and a former Olympian in decathlon. And if you want to truly master health by understanding how the body really works, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. The word autophagy means self-eating. And right on the surface, that would seem like a really bad thing to most people. I mean, wouldn't we want to stick around after all? But there's more to it than that. So the word auto means self and phagy means to eat or consume. And some of the benefits that have been discovered are things like anti-aging. It can slow or even reverse aging. It is probably the mechanism that's really involved with calorie restriction diets that have been showing longevity, but it's really the autophagy that is at the core of what's going on there. It improves detoxification. It improves.
That's the inflammation I was talking about. You know, I want you guys to really understand, you know, where I got my knowledge, because I you know, I'm just a regular old dunce cap when it comes to anything other than what I learned and I know. And so I learned the science and I know this stuff by watching these guys. And let me show you guys one more thing. And you guys tell me. So just so you know, when I made this video, I really wasn't at all in any way but when I watched it, I felt, I mean, because this is the height where I'm like 222 pounds or something like that. And I only made this video a week or so ago, 10 days ago. I made this video 10 or 11 days ago. And since then, in the last 5 days, I'm 7 pounds down, and my body will just keep reducing the weight, but it'll hold all the muscle. And you can just see the difference in the way that I look, you know, and so, you know, if you're into it and then, you know, there it is right there. And that's pretty much everything that you need to know about intermittent fasting. Like I'm going to show you guys a video vlog, and I'll show you guys some stuff that I do, but it's just a total complete game changer, and it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. So all I have to do is tell you how to do it. I just told you how to do it. I mean, I gave you the A to Z, and I'll show you guys when he said visceral tissue on your stomach, your stomach fat. I'll show you guys how you go from really a lot of fat on your belly to zero fat on your belly. Zero by not eating. I've been doing it since 2018. And when I injured my knee in Denver, I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity to get fat. So a little housekeeping, and then any questions, and I'll get the flock out of here, because I you know what, I said I was going to do this. And so DLZ Clips, I think, was telling me, someone was really like, yo, you know, like, where's the autophagy and the fasting thing? Now I taught you. Now you know. If you want to learn more about autophagy, I'm not a science teacher. I like constitutional law, the basis of how we have our rights. But the rest of, thank you but for the rest of you guys, I know how this works. I know how this really works. If you just don't push the button, try the black coffee, the salt, and the tea, and you'll see it'll change your life. Now, always talk to your doctor, just as a disclaimer and just so you know, man, if you do cheat and you have the sugar in your coffee or the sweetener, you know, then you will get hit with ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hormone in your body that is triggered by insulin. And then later in the day, you'll be hungrier because you cheated. You can't have any cream. Now listen, later when we get into keto, because in about 5 weeks, I'm gonna, maybe less even, maybe by the Super Bowl, I'm gonna switch to intermittent fasting, because you guys will know it perfectly. And then I'm gonna switch to keto. And because then I'm gonna rip my body using keto. I'll get super ripped by doing full body motion moves, sprinting, weights, with squats, sits, all kinds of stuff. But that's how you get ripped. I'm just telling you, man, there's a really simple process to it. But you just have to be dedicated. So anyway, now DLZ clips, you can send this guy the video, right? Wasn't there a guy just complaining DLZ clips like, where's the intermittent fasting video? I live for you, brother. I live for you. I live for you guys. So anyway, listen. And remember, you can't go too crazy on the coffee. Someone said something about coffee. You can't go too crazy with coffee because it'll spike your adrenal gland, and the adrenaline will knock you out of your ketosis. And you want to get into that ketogenic state where your body's using ketos for fuel. And just so you know, it'll take about a week or two before let me share the screen with you here. It'll take about a week or two before my body switches over to really wanting to use a ketone system, you know. But you want to make sure that you put the fats in your body, because if you don't put the fats in your body, and that comes in you see the cheese, I have cheese, peanut butter, you know, always want to make sure you go protein, your white protein first. And you want to make sure you put the fats in your body. Avocado, MCT oil, coconut, macadamia nut oil, all kinds of oil, except for peanut oil. You can eat almost kind of any oil you want. And I went crazy, just so you guys know. One time when because I've been doing keto since 2018, keto and intermittent fasting since I learned about autophagy and how it could reverse aging on your face first. I was like, that's amazing. So one time when I was doing autophagy and I learned from Thomas DeLauer, I had every different kind of oil you could imagine. You name a kind of oil and I had it, because I can show you guys a video of when I was like super in, like I'm there now. I'm there right now. So I won't need to pull up a video from 2019. I'll show you guys in June of this year. In June of this year, let me just say this now, for the people who don't really understand how powerful intermittent fasting is. I'm 48 years old. I don't take a bunch of PEDs. I don't do a bunch of, I don't smoke meth, like I don't do cocaine. I don't do any kind of barbiturate or any kind of substance that's, right? I'm just a regular person. By June of this year at 48, when I'm almost 49, I'll be shredded to the bone, and it won't matter, because all I have to do is not eat and then eat properly when I'm supposed to eat. And so there it is. And I did this in like 1 hour, something like that. 1 hour and 2 minutes. Amazing. Boom. In one time I did a project where I gained 50 pounds and lost 50 pounds. And I did a 360 revolution every day with pictures. And when you spin it, I lose 50 pounds. It's pretty cool. But I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to go all the way with this, because I'm going to go all the way with it. Broccoli's good. You can have all the greens you want, but make sure the process of your fast being broken is done properly. And when you do more than, 28, 29 hours, there's other ways to break your fast. But within like 24, 25 hours, a white lean protein is the best way to break your fast. So I saw another question. So yeah, and so Dirty Dog just said macadamia cookies. Listen, when you eat, if you want to have the food you want to have, like you can when you're eating in a 1 hour window. Just so you guys know, one time in 2019, because I was so into it. Like I was just like, I was teaching people and doing all this stuff. And I went on a 2-week in and out diet doing OMAD, 1 meal a day. I had 2 doubles, animal fries, a large chocolate shake, a large sugar-free iced tea. I did it for 2 weeks, and I looked even better. It was like crazy how when you only eat in a very specific time window, it really changes you. Anyway, do I have any questions? And I'll get the flock out of here. Oh yeah. Tommy said, I still can't believe I still can't believe I was chatting with myself in the other chat. I'm losing it definitely all downhill from 40 years old. Yeah, you're welcome, Launchpad. Thanks, dude. This is how you guys do it. I swear to God, this is how you do it. That's funny. You know, Tommy, just so you know, when your body is in a state of autophagy, you are sharper. Like right now, just so you know, I am, I'm at 21 hours now because I ate last night at 12:30. So I'm at 21 hours. And I'm not going to eat I mean, you know what? 21 hours. If I ate now when I got off, that would be 10 p.m. Let me pull that up. So you have to decide what your eating window is going to be when you're doing your intermittent fasting. Scoutmaster Bob, as far as kids go, man, every parent is going to do things differently and they're going to have to decide what they want best for their kids. But is it going to improve? It's really funny. Let me just tell you guys this. I'll just, it's true. Okay, I'll say it. A lot of times people will go into my chat and they'll go, you're wearing mascara or lipstick, or why do you have your makeup on? Or I'd been fasting for 24, 25, 30 hours like I am now when I was on that broadcast. And when you haven't eaten for a certain amount of time, your body will start to kick hormones and energy up. And remember that woman who was lost in her car for like 16 days? She drove off a bridge, or it was not that one. She lived off ketchup. She looked great when she came out of the car, by the way. And then there was a woman who was lost in the woods for like 20 days or 16 days or 14 days. Does anybody remember that woman who was lost in the woods? And when she came out of the woods, I was like, damn, she actually looks pretty dang good. And then later in life, I learned about intermittent fasting and autophagy. So you want to choose your eating window and then try to stay within it. And a lot of people, they won't be able to do the 24-hour fasts every day because they don't have the mental fortitude to do it. So a lot of people, but you're not getting the real, and listen, there's new information now. I learned all this in 2018, 2019. And so there's new information out. So maybe the 16 hours of not eating and the 8 hours of eating is better now. Maybe that's the new science. I don't know. The science I know from 2018, from learning about autophagy, is you got to get to 20 to 24 hours to really get the kick of the anti-aging. And I know it gives me a glow when I don't eat for 24 hours. And it's funny because when I first started doing this in 2018, when I hadn't eaten in 23, 24, 25 hours, I'd get cranky. But now I'm ready for it. And I know that I'm just going to have this, number one, exuberant amount of energy. But then number two, I'm going to transfer that energy into what I want to get done. And just so you guys know, I got so much done today. You have no idea. I got so much done, because I woke up hungry. I woke up hungry, and then as soon as I had that cup of coffee with salt, I was definitely better. As soon as I had the cup of coffee with salt, and then I can only have one cup of coffee a day. So I've that's it. I finished my one cup, and it wasn't a double cup like that. It was just one cup. And then I had maybe 4 bottles of water with a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. I'm absolutely starving at 21 hours, but I just feel absolutely incredible. Like I feel incredible. And then the other things that I do is I do a brisk walk every day, and that's with Charlie Bear, right? Charlie Bear. And like right now is the time I take my walk. When I'm at 21, 22 hours, I'll grab Charlie and we just take off. And then the other thing I do that's super hard to do, see if you can do it, try a 3-minute cold shower. Right now, I'm up to 1 minute. I'm up to 1 minute. It takes a while to get there. I'm up to 1 minute. Yes, Rich, this is an emergency broadcast, my friend. So I'm up to 1 minute. I started off at 30 seconds of a freezing cold shower at the end of my shower, but the benefits of autophagy, cold water, moving you're circulating your blood, because right now I'm just getting my walks in while I'm 220 pounds and I'm down to 213, 214. And now when I get closer to 200, I'll start doing a lot more weights. But right now I'm just walking real hard. And then I'm going to do that freezing cold shower in the morning for 1 minute at the end of my shower. And all the foods you guys saw, I will eat again tonight. I have all those in my fridge. And I have a T-bone steak frozen, and I have a pound of hamburger frozen, and I have chicken frozen. And the oils will last a long time. Probiotics and prebiotics, you want to make sure you rotate those. I'm not doing another one of these videos, so I'm trying to get everything out there. I said I would teach this. I do believe I've taught this. I do believe I've taught this well. You guys now know how to do it. So use mint tea then, Scrubzilla. Use it, but you can't get into a lot of different terpenes. You don't want the chemicals to affect you don't want it to affect your body. So people also said, Thomas DeLauer, when I listened to him, Thomas DeLauer said you could also do mint tea. And he's the most scientific guy besides Jason Fung I know. So you could, Scrubzilla, you got to go back. A prebiotic is going to be, think of prebiotic as a soil or a grain, and a probiotic is the culture that goes in it. So a prebiotic is going to be onions, garlic, ginger root, artichokes, super, super green bananas. Chunks of apple is going to be a prebiotic. And then your probiotics are going to be yogurt, kombucha, sauerkraut, fermented teas. You also want to, don't forget the seaweed, which is also a prebiotic. Yogurt. So you want to make sure you mix those. You want to make sure you mix those together. So anyway, that's the difference between a probiotic and a prebiotic. So the prebiotic, think of it as the soil, and then that culture, which is going to have, like, kombucha's got and only use GT Dave's. Don't use any other kombucha because most of them are fake. GT Dave is the guy who invented kombucha in California. And I know the dude, and I've had, he's the coolest dude ever. He's now almost a billionaire. So he's super jaded, super distanced from people. But he started GT Dave's, and that's the only real kombucha. And he explained to me why, and I can't explain it to you. But now I will only drink GT Dave's kombucha. It's the most expensive, but it's the best one. It's the only one that I trust because he invented it. So, yep. So, all right. All right. Any other questions? And I'll get the flock out of here. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. You guys will see when you compare, when I go to this video to whoops, cancel. Let me stop sharing. You guys will be able to see the difference. It'll be pretty incredible over the next little while. It's going to be really cool. I'll just cancel that. It's going to be cool because I took before and after pictures. You guys will see it anyway. Anyway, I'm going to get the flock out of here. Cool. Anyway, listen, love you guys. KT, Chevy, what's up, LA Spike? What's going on, brother? Tommy, by the way, this video won't stay here. This video will be here for like a week or so, maybe less. I'm going to open another channel called Don't Press the... Oh, let me share this. I'm sorry. That's what I forgot to do. I knew I was... This is going to be a... This will be a website where you guys can share and mix with anybody else who is doing the intermittent fasting. And, it's coming soon. I'll have this website done here shortly. Thanks, buddy. But at the end of the day, you'll be able to, because it's hard when you get to 16, 18, 20 hours. it's nice to connect to other people who are doing it with you. And it's typically done in small little groups, and they do it through Facebook and stuff. But I created a website where we're going to be able to connect with one another who are also intermittent fasting and be able to go through the process with them. And then I'll be there. I'm going to go there too. And I'll be able to text with you guys and meet with you guys and stuff. And that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, don't press the button. Whatever you do, don't press the button. I'm going to get the flock out of here and I'm going to eat because I've had one heck of a good day. We got a lot done. I'm super grateful to everybody who helped me. Super grateful to everybody who helped me get I got a lot done today. Got a lot done today. Got a lot done. Pressed with Rancor. I got to give him a call as soon as I get out of here. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys. So this is yeah. Make sure you guys go. There's only like 80 people in here because this isn't my typical coverage. But Delete Laws Clips. Make sure you guys subscribe to Delete Laws Clips Facebook page. We have Facebook page now. You guys can go to Facebook. Delete Laws. It's just a D. Delete Laws Clips. We should fix that. So anyway, let me get the flock out of here. I gotta go. Just remember, we don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. I gotta go. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.